You know, I know there's a lot of people out there, such as Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee, who like to bend the rules a little bit. But let me tell you something. If you bend the rules and try to mess up this pretty face, baby, I'll hurt somebody. This guy can take care of himself well.
Well, you're going to be in a
But I don't want
today.
nobody messing with this pretty face.
All right, fine.
Believe
well,
me.
I know you're in contention. If you're ready, we're ready.
Later on in the show, I'm going to unveil this guy right here on TV. So I want all you people out there, I want you to get your brothers, get your sisters, get your daddy, get them all around the TV. Because you fixed an eyewitness something right here on TV today, baby.
Well, you're looking at Michael Hayes, Terry Gordy. They are certainly one of the top teams in the nation and internationally. The fabulous Freebirds, that's who they are.
Right.
We'll be
and
seeing
this
them
guy
a little
right
bit
here,
later.
you know he's got prettier hair than Farrah Fawcett, and he's got more moves than John Travolta, baby.
All right.
Hey, he is 110% all man. You can bet your boots on that, Lance Russell.
I don't deny it, Terry. We've heard of your reputation, and we'll have a chance to see you in action, as you will be seeing a little bit later the fabulous Freebirds.
We're going to have a one-fall 20-minute time limit match coming up here. It's going to be another tag team match. Big team on one side. We've seen them both around in the area for some time now. Talking about Ron Bass and Pete Austin. They'll each weigh up around the 285, 290 range. Going against a couple of young guys. One of them, of course, you're quite familiar with, and Coco Ware. Pat Hutchinson, young wrestler. We've had him here before. They're teaming up today against the big team of Ron Bass and Pete Austin. Here comes Bass.
Southern Heavyweight Champion, Russell.
Yeah, Bass indeed wearing the Southern Heavyweight Championship belt around his waist. He steps into the ring, officially with the introductions, at a total of 4. From Union City, Tennessee, Coco Ware. His partner from Memphis, Tennessee, Pat Hutchinson. Total of 575. From Pampa, Texas, Ron Bass. And from Boston, Massachusetts, Pete Austin. One fall, 20-minute time limit. Referee Paul Morton.
Well, in all dead honesty, Dave, you got to acknowledge right on the front end of it that this is a situation that might be considered a mismatch. I'll tell you one thing. Bass and Austin will not go out of there without knowing that they have been in the bout. Hutchinson and Coco Ware, both very aggressive type wrestlers. They're giving away a lot of weight, and bell time sends us into action as Ron Bass starts against Pat Hutchinson. Ron himself individually goes in, and a nice drop kick, but Bass just too big, just too big. Pounds down with that forearm. Bass goes in at 290. His partner out of Boston, Massachusetts, Pete Austin, at 285. Bass picks Hutchinson up and drops him right down over that top rope. Wow, 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 wow. Hutchinson, the smaller of the two, being thrown around by Ron Bass, and he says, "Come get you some of this guy, Pete." Makes a tag on him, and from behind, Pete Austin in, just pounding away. Stop and figure that Austin is within 5 pounds aside from the Southern Heavyweight Champion. You have two very large gentlemen. One. Coco started in, but Pete Austin had no intention of pinning Dave, I don't think.
No, he picked him up by the hair. Count of 1.
Hutchinson fired into the knee of Ron Bass. There's a tag, and the broad arms continue as Ron Bass, big sadistic smile on his face, going for a suplex. Takes Hutchinson right straight over and down, drops him in the center of the ring, and then lifts him up by a handful of hairs. The referee says, "Let go of the hair." There's that Stampede Power Slam. 2, 3, that's going to be it.
Oh, I tell you, Bass and Austin. There's too much size, too much experience, too much meanness from the Southern Heavyweight Champion and his partner, Pete Austin, as they win it, defeating Pat Hutchinson and Coco Ware. Coco never officially got into the match. They were able to keep Hutchinson in there all the way, work him over. Time on it was 1 minute, 31 seconds. 1:31 the time, and the official winners of the match, Ron Bass and Pete Austin. Right now, let's go over to Lance.
Yes, sir. The action was just a little too much in terms of size and experience for Hutchinson and Coco Ware in there, as Ron Bass and his partner Pete Austin Too big, too much behind him in there, and came out an easy victor over the team. Coco, as a matter of fact, never got in there. Coming in right now to join us, the superstar, Bill Dundee, and the king, Jerry Lawler, and we're delighted to have them out here. Jerry, Monday night, something you and Bill held a couple of times, the Southern Tag Championships, are going to be up for grabs as Latham and Ferris will be defending.
Yeah, well, rather than talk about the championships right now, I do want to talk a little bit about Latham and Ferris. I think, you know, I wasn't really feeling as bad as I do right now until I just watched that piece of film of Jackie a few minutes ago. And I feel personally responsible for this because, you see, you know as well as anybody, and all the fans know, that Jackie Fargo and I had our differences in the past. We had a lot of matches against each other. Yes. But we were able to, after put all of that stuff behind us and form what I thought was a heck of a friendship. In other words, this man was there whenever I got into a little jam. I could call on Jackie Fargo, and he would come down and help me out just like he did this time. I mean, you know, Jackie's been in the wrestling business a while, and he's saved his money, and he's got plenty of money, and he's in a position that everybody wants to be in one of these days, as to where he can wrestle because it's something he loves to do and not because it's something he has to do for a living. And he doesn't have to get out on the road and make these trips night after night and go to these towns. He just goes when he wants to. So what happened was Bill and I got in this little jam with Ferris and Latham and Davis, and I called Fargo, and he said, well, you know, I mean, I'll just tell you exactly what he said. You know, Monday nights, the baseball games are on. Jackie's a big sports fan. He likes to stay home and watch the baseball games. And he said, but I'll tell you what, you know, the baseball game is something I can see anytime. If you're in trouble, I'm going to come down to Memphis and help you out. Now, I called the man, and he comes down here doing me a favor, and then three punks like Ferris and